Hello, gamers. That's a lot of me's. Oh god. I should just set activity really quick. Registered games. It should not be showing stream avatars as something I'm playing. There we go. Okay. Hello. Game development. Dice making simulator. To start, the start of every new game is making the project. Boom. Fantastic. Cool. Yo, what is up, D? How are you? I hope you're doing well. Good about me. I'm doing good. I'm just trying to do game development. Is this gonna connect? Okay, good. And God, where do I start? Gotta wait for Naoto to get back. Okay, we'll work on the GDD in the meantime. Okay, I need to think. So, the crux of this project, it's very simple. You know PC building simulator? How, like, you can build a PC in that? This is that, but for dice. I need to have some caffeine. I'm sorry, give me a sec. I have a soda right here I gotta crack open. My brain is not functional. Okay. And this is what I have written down so far. ASMR, yes, this is true. I gotta put the soda close to the mic. It's not gonna pick it up. Also, if the music is too loud, let me know. Or if it's bad. Okay. So start with selecting material. Making a to-do list. Select material. Simple variable set up. No. Initialization. And then, oh my gosh. And then okay. And then also, right? How would I do that? Would it be an array? Would it be, I'm gonna move my foot pedals closer. Move this over here. Okay. I can feel, like I'm a real boy, I can feel things now. I'm trying to think. Because for the material, that would just be like a simple string variable, probably. Set material to either resin, metal, silicone, etc. I don't know what the etc. would be just yet, but we'll get there. There's only going to be resin for now, realistically. What, mica, dye, glitter? I do have to turn this down a little. sure. No granularity whatsoever, but that's okay. Is that loud enough, D? The music. Okay, cool. Brilliant. So you select the material, and that's just setting a variable. It could just be like a thing you click on, a box. So start scene 3D. Wow. Oh, the camera controls. I forgot how weird they are in Godot. Also love the new PNGTuber. Thank you, thank you. There is technically an updated version of the sprites I need to import that's got teeth as well as like ear floof, but not today. God, I have a Node 3D. Where to start in Godot? I already saw this video.
Godot.
But maybe I'll just see the 3D one, because he has a 3D one. How is he
As three
started?
great adventurers once said, "You have my sword, and you have my bow, and my axis." It's a Z-axis. And that Godot actually makes this transition pretty smooth. First, the good news. Godot is built in such a way that most of the concepts you learn when making a 2D game directly apply to 3D. This is especially true for the functionality part of your game. Many of the nodes that you might have used so far actually have a direct 3D version that works in pretty much the same way. So instead of using Node 2D, we seem to use Node 3D instead. The same is true for area, collision shape, static body, character body, camera, raycast, audio stream player, and so on. Most of the properties on these nodes are pretty similar, and other nodes...
A thing happened. My activity feed's not working, chat. What happened? What happened? Okay, so it really is just my activity feed just not working. That's cool. Sorry, not to get distracted
like
or
timer
anything.
and animation player don't even have a 3D
Thank you
equivalent.
for
They
whoever
just
did
work the
that.
exact same way as in 2D. And this actually applies to programming as well. Detecting if a raycast 3D is hitting something is done using the isColliding function, just like in 2D. And as usual, you can move a node 3D by modifying the position. Of course, positions now have a third component that can be modified, the Z-axis, but otherwise the procedure is the same. And then, the bad news. The bad news is that while Godot tries its best to ease this transition, the world of 3D graphics is vast and complicated. While 2D games work by drawing sprites, in other words, flat images onto the screen, 3D games combine a lot of different asset data, such as meshes, textures, character rigs, and animations, with the in-engine rendering tools such as shaders, lighting, particle simulations, and post-processing effects. The pipeline for this can quickly become pretty complicated, and it's definitely an area where I see a lot of misunderstandings. But fear not, this video should clear up a lot of the confusion and teach you how you can approach this with as much complexity as you'd like. Creating aesthetically pleasing 3D scenes doesn't have to be rocket science, and we can often rely on the ease of use of Godot to help us out. I've split this video up into two sections. First, we'll look at functionality, how we can design and prototype 3D games in Godot. Then we'll dive into graphics. We'll get a good overview of the many terms thrown around when working with 3D assets, we'll nerd out on workflows and how to best use these assets in Godot, and finally, we'll learn how to render them beautifully in the engine. This video is meant to serve as an overview, not a follow along, so lean back, grab your favorite snack, and let's figure this out. But first, this video is sponsored by Senva. If you want to know more about Godot, make sure to check out Senva Academy. They offer great beginner and intermediate. So we're in Godot.
Also, I want to preface, sorry that this is me watching a tutorial. I'm a game designer, not a programmer. This is my forte, not this. So, yeah.
And we want to go to the top here and switch from 2D to 3D. And that's pretty much it for this video, so if you enjoy, alright, there's maybe a bit more to it than that. Let's create a 3D scene, name it main, and save it.
Aha, he's right, he's right.
We can create something to look at by going plus or hit Control A to add a new node. We'll search for mesh instance and add the mesh instance 3D. And here Godot supplies us with some primitive meshes that we can use. I'm going to choose a new box mesh, and we can...
Aha, Blender default cube.
of course, orbit this box by holding down middle mouse, pan using shift middle mouse, and zoom using scroll. Just like in 2D, selecting something and hitting F will focus the view on that node, and by holding down the right mouse button and using the vast keys, we can move in free look mode, which is a very nice way to move around, especially when designing levels. And adding shift to this will make you fly faster. In 2D in Godot, we normally work with pixels. Moving a node 1 unit corresponds to moving it 1 pixel on the screen. However, in 3D, this is not the case. Instead, it is common practice to equate 1 unit to 1 metric meter, and many assets that you find online will be scaled to fit this. As we can see, this box here is currently 1 meter on all sides. And if we look at the transform, we can see that all of the position data is in meters. And we can of course adjust this here, or we can use the gizmos just like in 2D. We can switch between select, move, rotate, and scale, or use Q, W, E, and R. Here we can move the node on different axes using the arrows, rotate using the arcs, and scale using the squares. To scale uniformly, simply click and drag outside the gizmos. Holding down Control while translating, toggle snapping. And pressing this box here, or T on the keyboard, will switch to local mode. In local mode, the gizmos follow the orientation of the node, and in global mode, they are simply ignored. A quick tip is that you can actually bind these manipulations to happen on a key press similar to a program like Blender. To do this, you go to Editor, Editor Settings, Shortcuts, and if we search for Begin, we can bind keys to rotate, scale, and translate, or move. So I found rotate to shift R, and now if I press that, I can rotate freely, or bind it to an axis, say the x-axis by just hitting X, and we can now rotate around the x-axis. Clicking will apply the rotation, or right-clicking will snap it right back. Very cool. Now before we spend hours upon hours making large and beautiful 3D environments, it's probably a good idea to start with a prototype. And a very common way to do this is by using a technique called grayboxing, also known as a level blockout. Here you use simple shapes to lay out a rough draft of your level. This way you can make sure the level works well before getting bogged down in the details. And this is one of the things that Godot makes very easy with its built-in CSG nodes. CSG stands for constructive cell geometry and allows you to quickly make levels and props by combining simple shapes. And in the end, you can even export your graybox scene and bring it into a 3D modeling program such as Blender to use as a base. So let's try it out. When prototyping, I almost always work with snapping enabled. So at the top here, we can enable snapping or press Y, and we can configure the snap. Under transform, configure snap. I'll set this to 0.1. Enable snapping or press Y, and we can configure the snap under transform.
Oh, under transform, I see.
Configure snap. I'll set this to 0.1, 10 degrees, and 10% scale. Now we can add a new node and search for CSG, and as you can see, there are different ones in here. I'm going to start with a box.
CSG.
And here we can simply click and
CSG.
drag on the handlebars to scale it. If I hold down Alt, it's going to mirror on both sides. And a nice thing about this is that we don't need to add collision separately. We simply go to the right here and enable use collision.
Interesting. Okay.
And now we can collide with it.
That makes
so
that
let me just make a quick wall here.
easy enough.
And let's say we wanted to add a window to this wall. Well, in this case, we can use subtractive editing. So under this CSG box, I'll add a new CSG, and this time let's make it a cylinder. I'll position this where I want the window, and I'll make sure that it sticks out on both sides of the wall. Then to subtract this from our box, we simply change the operation from union to subtraction. And as you can see...
Okay, that makes sense. That's somewhat how it is in like a slicer. Okay. I'm gonna make like a simple workshop space. So we'll say it's like... Wait, okay, hold it. Y is vertical here. Got it. That's correct. That is correct. Say 10. Cool. Uh-huh.
We have a round window, and we can very easily adjust this to do all kinds of things. Say we
Hello, Pineapple Man.
wanted this to be kind of an archway instead. I would simply drag this down and scale it. And we have an archway. We can also increase the sides on the cylinder to make it look a bit nicer. Very cool. And you can do a lot more with CSG and Godot, but this is enough to get started. So let me put together a quick prototype using these techniques. Oftentimes when making levels, I will go to the top right here and click on the axes to change to that view. Just a really nice way to view everything from the side or the top. And
How's it going? It's going good, I would say. It's yeah, it's going. Things are slow but steady, I guess. Steady-ish. I have to get used to the camera controls in Godot. Oh god. Oh, no, not quite actually. Ooh, but also not quite. reset its position or something? Or do I just go... Oh, that'll be tall, wouldn't it? Okay. Okay. Can I then... Nope. Can I duplicate it? That's the question. What's with the Pikmin? Oh, they represent you guys, I think. Yeah, they represent you guys. I can toss them around and I can drop bombs on y'all. It's fun. It's good fun. They represent you guys. Not to, like, bomb you guys or anything. Sorry about that, but you know how it is. Had to be done. Can I duplicate this? Duplicate. I can. Cool. Oh. I should not try to freehand it, though. Cool. And can I duplicate that again? Wait, did it get scaled down? No, I'm just stupid. Okay, cool. You're paying for... Can't believe you Obamas are paying for my medical expense. Well, that's crazy. Because I can't... I spent all my money on this. And I can duplicate this. Aha. Although, no, I don't actually want to have all the walls like that. I'm just gonna be really silly here and look up average desk length in meters. We'll say it's 1 by 0.5 meters. So I will make another box. And it shall be. 1 meter is a lot. That's how long it's gonna be, yeah. I'm realizing how big I made this room now, chat. No, be for the length, not the width. Although, wow, it's dawning on me how large this room is. That's pretty large, actually. Huh. That's okay, though. That's okay. Oh god, that is really big, though. Leave it big, it'd be funny. I'm wondering if I need to scale everything else down now to compensate. I think I will. I think I will mostly just because this is kind of big, huh? Get half the size? No. Oops. Okay. Aha. The desk is slightly more reasonably sized now. I feel like realistically I didn't actually need to change the wall height at all. But I did. So, you know, is what it is. I don't eat walls. I just don't. Okay, whatever. Okay. So I need to think of it like this. This is one desk, okay? Oh, that's really high up. Okay. Better. Okay. So it's one desk. I'll be over there, and I'm going to duplicate it. So we'll say, you know what? Here. I'm thinking low-key, could I remove this? Or can I, like... I can. Cool. Fantastic. I want to give all these collision as well. I'm going to rename this cabinet. And then this one is going to be desk 1. This will be desk 2. Now until whenever you're ready to come back. Uh-huh. And then could duplicate. Can I nest it underneath? Cool. I'm going to scale it down slightly. And it'll be, how do they do it? Subtraction. There we go. Cool. I don't care, Cinder. What's the progression of the game going to be like? Okay. I do have a clear plan for that. So, it's going to start with you being bequeathed some very, very simple resources from, I don't know, a late step uncle thrice removed or some shit. And the initial process, you know, oh shoot, I got a diagram and everything. I do, yeah. I made the flowchart at like 4 a.m. one night. This is basically going to be the starting thing. So you select the material, you repair the resin, you pour correct amount for each part, you add mica, blah, 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 blah. And then you may think, wow, that's kind of missing some stuff. Like, where's the pressure pot and such? And, like, how come you're pouring and not pumping the resin? And all that fun stuff. And that's because we have dice making for Smarties, which is going to base... This is more like a progression. So first, you learn that you can heat the resin in water before you pour it, so it's got fewer bubbles. Then you learn that you can use a lighter on top to remove some of those bubbles. And then you can get enough money to buy a pressure pot. But then you only have enough money for a hand pump for the pressure pot. And so you have to use that. And then you can have enough money for an electric pump. And then you get silicone, and you can use that to make silicone dice. And then you can get masters somehow, probably. I don't fucking know, man. But I'm drawing heavily from our own dice making experience, which I know for a fact you're aware of, Mr. President of D&D Club. So, yeah, this is just a cabinet. But, shoot, gotta go earlier than I thought, but have a great rest of the stream. All good. Thank you for popping in, D. Hope you have a great day. I should probably move these over more. I don't even know if I need 2 desks. I have 2 desks.
And to exit, I just click and drag with middle mouse. Now sometimes I will use a CSG combiner node, so that's a plus, CSG combiner, and this will combine all child CSGs into one. So for static geometry like these rooms, for example, I can take pretty much everything and put it under this one CSG combiner. Just remember to check use collision on that node, since everything is now one. And so I've blocked out these 2 rooms, and I've intentionally left them pretty blank. At this point, I'm starting to get ideas for how this scene might look in my head, but for the gray box, I've concentrated on just getting a rough layout. I also know that I'm going to be using tileable assets for the walls, so I've stuck to simple 90-degree angles. Feel free to get as crazy with this part as you'd like, or exclude it completely. Not all projects need a gray box. Now I should mention that so far this is turning into an architectural level, but sometimes you want to work with more organic environments, such as for large outdoor scenes. It is common to use a terrain tool that allows you to sculpt and paint a terrain to suit your needs. Godot doesn't have a built-in solution for this, but there is an extension called Terrain 3D, which is quickly becoming the go-to tool for terrain in Godot. Grading terrain is a really fun and creative process, but it's not within the scope of this video. Let me know if you'd like to learn more about terrain and foliage in the future. Alright, so to play our game, we need to add a camera. So let's add a new node, camera, and select camera 3D.
Quite important. Being able to see is good. You love the expressions, that's good. I need to remember I have the foot pedal so I can actually do the expressions. Here. I'm going to CSG combiner. I'm just going to call it room. I'm going to make another one that'll be for furniture. What? Configure as an empty shape? No, it doesn't. You're wrong. Oh, I see. That's fine. Don't worry about it. So, I'll call this one furniture. And they all use collision. Very important. Right then.
I'm gonna move
Camera 3D.
it over so that it can see our level, and rotate it down. Remember, we can always...
That's right. I'm gonna leave for a bit washing my car. I'll be back though. Alright, thanks for popping in while you could. Oops.
Just preview it by selecting this toggle.
Interesting. Yep, that's a workspace, alright.
Cool, so the camera now has a view of our level. And if we now click to play or press F5, it will ask us to set a main scene. We'll hit select current, and our level looks not very exciting, even
Oh, yeah, that ain't right.
for gray box. That's because by default, Godot uses a preview sun and environment in the scene view, but not when running the game. In fact, we can toggle the preview sun and environment using these buttons here. And if we expand, we can even adjust settings such as the sun's direction. And we can also add them to our game. So let's simply hit add sun to scene, and also
Oh. That's some scene and environment to see.
add environment to scene. As you can see, this creates 2 new nodes, a directional light, which is our sun, and a world environment. The sun we can now rotate to adjust where it's shining from.
Okay.
And the world environment we'll talk about later. And now if we play, we can see our level. But what fun is it if we can't move around it? And for this, we need some kind of character controller. But just like in 2D, creating a solid controller can actually get pretty complicated. And the needs of the controller...
High-key glad I decided to just watch a tutorial instead of trying to raw dog it. like I was initially planning on doing. Can I pull up my stream manager? I should just keep it open. Like I was initially. Oh God, that's me. Ew. There we go. In case I need that.
Controller entirely depends on the game.
Hello, Gordito. How are you? Oh. Sorry. My bot hates you, I guess.
That you're making. Is it first person or third person? Does the camera move freely or is it bound to a character? Do you need jumping, double jumps, wall jumps, stairs, slope, sprint, crouch, prone, swim, attack while swimming? It's too much. And this is not a video about character controllers. Luckily, there are a lot of good resources about making different types of controllers available. So instead of spending the next hour programming a controller that might not be right for you anyway, I'll link to some that you can check out. I would recommend starting simple. You can always expand on your controller as the game progresses and you get more comfortable. I've also gone ahead and created a very simple character controller to use for prototyping first-person games. I call it the Proto Controller. You can download it for free. It's under the CC0 license, so you can use it for anything. It's designed to be simple and has basic movement with options for jumping, sprinting, and a free fly mode that I find super useful.
What's up? Not much, just doing some game div. Do I import this or do I make my own? Pros of making my own, I would know how to use it. Cons of making my own, I have to spend time. I make my own here. I make my own. I say as I open up theirs.
Hey, it's Lucky. Welcome to the first part of this 3-part Ultimate FPS Controller tutorial series. We're going to start off by setting up a basic FPS controller with crouching, jumping, sprinting, all the basic stuff. In the next couple of tutorials we'll go more and more in depth on building this amazing controller.
I lied, I'm going to just import this one. Okay, so how do I actually import this? Drag Proto Controller folder into add-ons in the root of your Godot project. If no add-ons folder, create one manually. Cool. So how long have I been on? Like, been streaming? It should show. Not long though, only about 30 minutes. So just drag the folder into the add-ons. Okay. And then is that? Okay, Proto Control. Wow, that was easy. Trying to remember now. How do I put that in?
Useful when testing. So import, simply take the Proto Controller folder and drag it into your add-ons folder in Godot. If you don't have an add-ons folder, you can simply go ahead and create a new folder, name it add-ons, and now we can drag our Proto Controller in there. And that's it. We can now go here, take the Proto Controller scene, and drag it into a gray box level.
Ah, I see. I see. Oh, oops. Sure. Thought that one through a bit better.
We can get rid of the camera
I go instantly to Team Tournament? Yes, I am.
we created before, and now when we play, we can look.
Oh, I can delete the other camera. I see. Yo. Sick. Yeah, I'd rather do this than something else. Because the thing is, for a game like this, I don't need a complex character controller in the slightest. Jumping is frankly not required. Sprinting would be nice, but it's not required at all. None of this is really required. Although I should set my controls to have input map. Let me see for this. What's the script?
Hello, chat.
Now to jump scare. I imported a character controller in gray box to
I saw on over on my monitor.
Aha. I'm watching a Brackeys tutorial. Just like I did for 2D.
That's good. That's good.
I was
because frankly, I would not have been able to teach you the basics very well. Because that's not what's occupying my mind space right now.
Yeah. Because I was at first thinking do I just raw dog it? Do I just go for no. No, the answer is no, I don't just raw dog it.
That's how you end up just dragging a bunch of cubes into the viewport and that's it, then you quit.
And I was about to, as a matter of fact, but no, now I'm not.
It seems like you have good progress. And honestly, I have the Brackeys character controller pulled up now. And it seems to be basic enough to where it's not really bloating your game.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Plus,
it's a good baseline.
You've played PC Build Sim, right?
Yeah, and basically it acts exactly how you would expect
a
character controller to act for that.
Are there 2 people on stream? Oh yeah, my friend Naoto, my best friend, he's in call here. Say hi, Naoto.
Hi, Naoto.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, this is my little gray box scene. I have a cabinet. I have 2 desks.
I'll be back in a second.
Oh, okay.
Hold that thought.
Yep. Oh, I do feel like it's too large. Am I able to scale it down at all? Or is this where I'm regretting having made the scene so
Look around,
small?
Move using the arrow keys, and even jump using space. To get control of our mouse back, we hit escape. And if we go into the controller, we can see that it's super simple. Again, this is intended for easy prototyping, so I've kept it very bare bones. It has a character controller to drive movement, a mesh instance for temporary graphics, a collision shape, and under the head node is a camera 3D. The script references the collider and head node, so leave them be unless you want to modify the script, which, if you want to, is as simple as clicking the script button, and here is all the code. On the top node, we can choose which features we want to include, as well as adjust some speeds. I'll enable sprint and free fly. We just need to make sure that we also go under input actions and bind the appropriate keys. And this is exactly the same as 2D, so to add input, we go project settings, input map, and here we can add actions for all the things we want to do. I'll add...
Okay, so I still did the whole input map thing. Cool.
Some for the movement as well, so that I can bind them to my own keys.
Oops, that was a filter. Jump. And I'll add sprint, why not, right?
And now that I have the actions, I can bind keys to them.
Oh, I should have the free fly for
And
that
to put
as
this
well.
into our controller, we just take the... these names and put them... have the actions, I can bind keys to them.
Okay. Set to that. Okay.
And to put this into our controller, we just take these names and put them into our input actions.
I see. Okay, so now let's see. Cool. I'm a real boy. Bye-bye, cruel world. Okay, cool. Character controller.
And now if I play, I can move using the right keys, I can even sprint, and I can toggle into free fly mode, and of course toggle right back. Awesome. Now we can make levels and start testing them. So we're almost...
I'm back, chat.
He's back, chat. Am I able to scale down this creature?
The capsule?
Mm-hmm. The whole thing.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Under, it should be under where you are. Under the node 3D section, there should be transform.
I see scale. Cool. Cool.
He's small.
It's more reasonably sized. I went and made the
It doesn't-
environment a little small
Oh,
by
is
accident.
that supposed to be a table or a door?
This?
Yeah.
This is a
No.
cabinet.
Oh.
These are desks.
Yeah, okay.
Looks like it's changing, but not actually a lot.
What did you
0.2.
set the scale to?
I'm making him very tiny just to see. Okay, no, it seems like it's resetting it to a thing.
Yeah, it seems like it.
I mean, I could also just scale up literally everything else.
Yeah, that's probably what I would do, just because the character controller is probably set to some, like, physically accurate dimensions.
Yo!
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna have to mute real quick, just because Hallie has to talk to her boss on the phone.
You're good.
BRB.
Okay. Fantastic. Although low-key, maybe it should be 1.9 or something. No, 2's fine. I can just move these two down.
almost done with functionality, but I quickly want to touch on physics. 3D physics works much the same as 2D and uses many of the same nodes. To create a static collider, we use a static body 3D node with a collision shape 3D as a child. Here we add a shape resource, size it to fit, and that's it. For physics simulated objects, we use rigid body 3D, again with collision shape. A quick thing to note is that Godot can be a little sensitive when it comes to scaling colliders. Scaling uniformly should be fine, but non-uniform scaling will generate a warning and probably lead to collision weirdness. Just a heads up. Now, one thing that I really recommend you do in most cases is to switch to the Jolt physics engine. Jolt is currently being implemented into the engine and is planned to replace the default Godot physics. It has many advantages, mainly in terms of better performance and more stable physics simulation. For me, that's fixed much of the weird behavior that I sometimes run into with the default physics. It's also much better at scaling. Still, there are a few differences, so if you're unsure if Jolt is right for you, I'll have a link to where you can learn more and follow its progress. If you're using Godot 4.4 or later, Jolt is already part of the engine and just needs to be enabled by going project settings,
Oh, cool. So just go project settings,
scrolling down to physics,
general physics 3D, physics engine Jolt. Then it'll restart the project. Okay, cool. How's this feel? Does it feel different at all? Not really. That's fine though, that's fine, it's fine. Doesn't need to feel different. Chat. Hi chat. That's Studio Pulsar official. That's my boss. That is literally my boss. Hi boss, I'm working. Don't fire me.
3D, and setting the physics engine to Jolt physics. It'll ask us to restart, and Geode is now enabled. On previous versions, I'm building this in Godot 4.3, we first have to install it as an add-on.
It won't feel different, but it's lighter weight? Yeah. That's what they said, and that's frankly all I really need. So
we'll go to the asset library, we'll go online, search for Godot Geode, we'll click and download.
oh, I don't
install,
gotta do that.
save and restart. And now we can enable it in the same place under project settings, 3D physics. We have to check advanced though, and under physics engine, we have Jolt physics. And again, we'll have to restart. And as you can see, we didn't have to change anything about our game. You can run it and move around
Nice.
just as before, but now all the physics nodes will use Jolt instead. So that's how we can start prototyping and building functionality for our 3D game, because there's more to 3D than just making the game really, really ridiculous. Good looking. But that's fun too. And graphics is probably the biggest difference between 2D and 3D development. So welcome to Giraffics Pod. So looking at 3D graphics in Godot, I think most of the work fall under 3 main pillars that all contribute to the look of our game. I like to call them the 3Ds of 3D graphics. First we have the assets, the models with textures and materials that we place in our scene, the lighting, the lights that we set in our scene, and the environment, the rendering choices we make that affect our scene. If the look of a game isn't working, it's probably because one or more of these pillars or Ds isn't doing what it should. You could of course argue that shaders and VFX need their own pillars, but for the sake of keeping the scope of this video just somewhat reasonable, we'll skip those topics entirely. Plus, the 5 Ds of 3D graphics just sound silly. So let's begin by having a look at importing and setting up 3D assets in Godot, and then we'll move on to lighting and environment. Now this is where I see a lot of people get confused, and that's understandable. When it comes to 3D assets, there's often a lot of terminology being thrown around. If you're a 3D artist, you need to know what kinds of assets.
Alright, so Mr. Studio Pulsar official, correct me if I'm wrong, but I should probably pause the tutorial at this point and go look up at different tutorials instead of trying to make the game prettier, right? Does he... It's a lot about the environment.
And formats Godot expects so you can best tailor your workflow.
Yeah, okay, at this point, what I need to do is I need to figure out how to add, I guess, interactivity. So I could add more objects to the cabinet if I really wanted to. But I probably don't need to. Seems like it does a good job of getting you familiar with the engine functions, TBH. So I should keep going and import visual stuff. I guess I can find a desk model.
To fit. But even if you're not a 3D artist, it's important to have a solid understanding of what these terms mean, so you can implement assets created by others correctly in the engine. So just to make sure that we're all on the same page, here's a 1-minute overview of all the things that make up a common 3D game asset. If you have experience creating 3D assets already, feel free to skip ahead exactly 1 minute. The shape of our model is called the mesh. It's the actual geometry or polygons that make up the object. We can easily assign a color to a mesh, but if we want to texture it by painting with multiple colors, we need to make a UV map. A UV map is a 2D representation of our mesh. Each point on the map refers to a point on the mesh. This is called unwrapping, and you can think of it like peeling an orange and then laying the peel out flat. Texturing is most commonly done by painting directly onto the mesh. The 3D program then uses the UV map to apply this to the texture. The result is a 2D image that can be overlaid onto the model. Next, we create materials to simulate the surface properties. Is our model rough like wood or smooth and shiny like metal? These properties might vary over the surface, so we create textures for them as well. Now some assets such as characters need to bend and animate. This is done using a rig that defines.
You don't have to import visual stuff, you could put it into a specific folder till later once you're ready for your own assets. I mean, yeah.
The movable bones. Each bone is mapped to a specific part of the mesh so that when it moves, the mesh comes with it, which looks funny when it's done wrong. Finally, a game asset can have animation data, such as animations that move the bones of the character. Hopefully that gave you an idea of what makes up a common 3D game asset. Now let's look at how to get your game assets playing nice with Godot. Officially, Godot supports these model formats, with DLTF being the recommended. DLTF is an open standard that is rapidly increasing in popularity, and personally, I've had the best results with it. If I'm working with a model in another format, I will most often re-export to DLTF using Blender. It has solved many issues for me. DLTF comes in 2 versions, .gltf and .glb. GLB is the binary version. It's smaller and recommended for most cases. Godot also supports .blend files, which means if you're working in Blender, you can save your Blender file directly into your Godot project, and it will import correctly. Behind the scenes, Godot is actually calling Blender to export to DLTF, which means that you have to have Blender installed for .blend files to work. Now, for this part, I'll be using some assets from the amazing K-Kid and Kenny. I've made a few tweaks and bundled together just
Yo, Kenny, my goat. I'm familiar with Kenny.
if you want to try some of these things out on the exact
I
same
know
assets.
his
Or
work.
if you want the full packs, definitely check out the original creators. Links for both in the description. So here I have a chest with some coins in it. The chest is made up of a DLTF file containing the model and a separate PNG texture. So let's create a models folder in Godot, select it, and drag in our chest. From here we can drag it into our scene, and voila, a chest. The texture isn't applied, but we'll fix that in a second. Now a very important thing to note here is that next to the model is this scene icon. Often, a 3D asset will contain more than a single mesh. It might have an entire hierarchy of objects. To make this easy for us to manage, Godot treats a DLTF file like a Godot scene. And we can go ahead and open it like any other scene. It's going to tell us that this scene belongs to our DLTF file, so we can't modify it. That should be done with your modeling program. But we can open it and see what's in here by pressing open anyway. And here we can see all of the nodes that now make up this asset in Godot. Even if you import a DLTF file with just a single mesh in it, Godot will put it under a root node and create a scene for it. Now sometimes our assets might import without issue, but oftentimes we need to make adjustments. So let's select the DLTF and go to our import window. Here are a bunch of settings, most of which you can ignore for now. But one you might need right away is root scale. This allows us to adjust the scale of the imported model. So in this case, I think 1 is fine. While we can adjust many things in the import window, a lot of the really important import settings are actually under advanced. We can click the advanced button or simply double click the file, and this will open up the advanced import settings. Don't be scared by the fact that it's called advanced. This window simply gives you much more control over the different parts of your model.
King assets are nice, especially since good placeholder stuff can make the process of making the game feel like it's progressing faster. Ooh, that's a good point. I do like the dopamine hit of feeling like I'm being productive.
Here we can see the nodes making up the scene, and if we select one, we can set import settings for just that node. Say we didn't want to import the chest lid, well then we could simply hit skip import for just that node. And if we select the scene at the top, we get the standard import settings. We can also go under materials to see all the materials that got imported. And the cool thing is that we can override any of the imported materials with our own. So let's create a material for this chest. I'll right click, create new, resource, and I'll search for standard material.
So do I just go ahead and import some Kenny stuff? Oh, Kenny. Oh, Kenny. Alright, let's see. So I want something that's like... I don't want to go for the fucking Unity asset flip look, do I? That's like something I shouldn't do. But I could. Okay. Half-Life 2. Uh-huh. Furniture kit. Perfect. Perfect. See? Kenny, I knew he would come in clutch. Love this guy. Excuse me. I just realized I was accidentally pressing one of the foot pedals. Oopsies. I can start tweaking in chat. New and Kenny. Alright, let's see. So he has desks. Good. I like desks. Desks are good. He has cabinets. I love you, Kenny. Marry me. Me and Kenny did. This is already making my life a billion times easier. Here I was thinking I was going to have to go into Godot and use whatever these are called again. The CSG boxes to make a cabinet. Like with shelves. But nah, Kenny said... I got you, baby girl. And he does. He does have me. I'm his baby girl. Okay. So extract. Also, is the music a good volume? Is it too quiet? I really doubt it's too loud. Instructions? Yeah, sure, man. Just open it. Copy models in the project folder. If there's a texture folder, make sure to copy that too. Okay. So I could just go and like... Good volume of a teeny bit quiet. Considering it's either a teeny bit quiet or way too loud, I think this is fine. Okay. So do I just go on and make a folder for models? And I'll make another one that's just Kenny. In the name of organization, right? Placeholder assets folder, true. Models placeholders, how about that? And then in that folder, just go ahead. Dunk. Cool. Does this import the textures? Yeah, that's a mural, right? Book, interesting. Okay. So let's see. Is there like a model viewer in Godot where I could just like look at all these super nice and easy peasy? Oh. There basically is. Cool. Are these all isometric? Uh-oh. They shouldn't be. No, they aren't. Maybe it's just like a placeholder example thing. Oh, no, they're just like straight up 3D. Okay. I'm just stupid. That's a sinkhole, right? Yeah. I'm laughing, but I actually will need a sink. Bookcase. Yeah, that's like perfect. What's the bookcase? Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Wow, yeah. So in that case, oh. Oh. Do you guys think this bookcase has shelf envy? Tiny. It is. It's so tiny. Okay. He had a thing on scaling. Right. It was open anyway, bitch. Mouse bookcase.
For control over the different parts of your model, file, and anything in
True.
the import window, there. This and go to our import window. Here are
Import. Oh, okay. I see. Go to advanced. Root scale should realistically be like fucking 3 or something. Yeah, that's reasonable. Request a file format unknown. Uh-oh. I still have to add collision, don't I? Hello again. Welcome back, Pineapple Man. Yeah, just simple colliders would work? Yeah. Doesn't need to be anything fancy, and I can just have things on the shelves. Or wait, am I able to make a collider that will be the... What am I saying? What am I trying to get at here? Because that is just a... Would I be able to make a collider that would go and have the shelves be their own things as well? Yes, I can. Fantastic. Is this where you say I have to do it manually, or are you going to tell me a handy-dandy little node that does it for me? Is it just a collision shape 3D? Go to the bookcase scene. Well, it's not really a real scene, if you recall. So I'm in the bookcase scene. With the mesh selected, press mesh at top. Uh-huh. Top of viewport. Oh, I see. Create navigation mesh, create collision shape. Create outline mesh. Collision shape. Okay, so the easy one. And then is it a sibling or a static bodied child? Sibling and trimesh is fine. Cool. I forgot. I have to scale it up 3 times. Transform, scale. Chat. Was I supposed to save it or something? It only... Please use as a child of area 3D. Oh. Wait. Did that fix it? It's a mesh instance 3D. I need a static body node. I see. Where exactly would that go? It's a child of the collision shape. I see. Yeah. Oh, no. Wait. A stack body is a child of the collision shape. I see. Like that? Huh? Why does it keep giving me that error as well? It doesn't recognize the file format. Like, bitch, yes you do. Again, you gotta remember, Naoto, this isn't a real scene technically, like what he was saying in the video. Or maybe it doesn't matter? Yeah, that's what it's saying. Do I have to maybe be putting this stuff underneath that? Like that? Oh, I should try saving as a new scene? Maybe, maybe. Would that just be like save scene as and that way? Well, it didn't give me the error, but error. Considering collision shape 3D. Okay. Nope. Wait. Show in file system. Whoa. Okay. Yes! Oh, I'm so good at this. Alright. Brilliant. It wasn't working because the scene that was in the scene was not the real scene, but it was a fake scene that masqueraded as the scene. Where were you at the scene of the crime? Plex. scene. Okay, okay, fantastic. And then they had... So I can probably get rid of this now, right? Do I delete it or do I just hide it? What do you think? Yeet it, so destroy it, obliterate it, cool. I feel like I should be making a folder for these scenes. But oh well. Okay, create new folder. Scene versions. I'm going to go ahead and take the scene for this. Bookcase open. Put it there. Just like organizational, right? Go ahead and build the scene. Yes, I would make a folder for your own versions of the placeholder scenes. Okay, good, cool. Build out the scene. I see, I see. Does this pack have walls by any chance? It does. It does. I see. Although realistically, those could probably be fine for now, right? This like 2/4 look, right? Yeah. I just gotta look to see if there's a desk. Yeah, that's a desk, all right. That's a corner desk, yeah. Good observation. That kitchen cabinet, yo, I can just remake the annex. Pineapple Man gets that. Okay, can put a couch in there, make it all cozy. Let the player slack off. Table. I mean, it'd probably be more of a table anyways, yeah. Root scales is probably going to be 3. And then, would I be able to open it without dragging it in? Is that a thing I can do? Why am I putting the annex in the matrix? We need that? Yeah. Also, for 1, don't use that name. And for 2, you spelt it wrong in the first place. What the fuck, man? Can I delete messages in chat? Has to connect to chat. Okay, whatever. Although trying to get mod view to work is like actually the worst thing ever. So maybe I just try to forget about it. Whatever. But yeah, remember guys, my name's Estello. Nope. I need to save as. Save scene as, and then put in scene versions. Et voilà. And then I can obliterate this table. And replace it with the scene version. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Just don't do it again. Always gonna have a problem. Whatever. I'll probably get rid of these as well. This room so far is looking really sad. There is a shelf and there is a table. Is there like a potted plant I could add or something? Is there a floor? Does this have a floor texture? It does. Is it under F? Floor full. Yeah. Out of the couch will make it more lively. I'm thinking about it. 90% scale. Fuck it. Ah. No, that's maybe a little bit too big. Maybe a carpet too. You're right. What about 10? Low-key, I prefer it anyways. The room was too big previously. Instead of changing the scale, I can tile them? Oh yeah, that is a thing I can do. How? And do I click new inherited here? What happens if I do? Wait, no, it wouldn't. It wouldn't actually make that any easier. Yeah, I'm better off saving this scene in scene versions. Like that. And then saying floor full. Nah, fuck that shit. Got the scene versions. And then we can get rid of the floor, I guess. Oh, I forgot to have physics. I should do that, huh? I do that to the tables as well. Stack body 3D and then collision shape under it. Okay. Stack body and then collision shape 3D. Ah, it needs a shape for it to function. I see. Of course it does. For that, though, I can go to Mesh, create collision shape. Boom. Am I learning? Now, are you proud of me? Yo. There's just a teeny tiny little gap between me and the abyss. That's cool. Yeah, super cool. I should probably fix that. I've never really been a fan of falling to the abyss. Really puts a damper on the day, you know? Cool. Okay. Is there a rug model? There is. There is a rug. Pomperman, you're so smart. Oh, that's a shower. I don't think they need that. We'll do a rounded rug. Screw it. go ahead and I say save scene as. I do that. And then I go into mesh, create collision shape. Boom. And I obliterate that and replace it with that, which goes under furniture because that is technically furniture. Angie shapes. Oh. Yeah, that isn't just a folder, huh? It's fine. I don't care. This wouldn't actually need collision though, now would it? Yeah. It doesn't actually need collision, the rug. Yo. Straight up rugging it, and by it, haha, let's just say rounded rug. That doesn't make sense, chat. Okay, I can pretty up the room all I want, but that's not actually being productive, I fear. You know what? One last thing. Boom. Return of plant. Right. Save scene. Put it in there. Go ahead. I delete that. I replace it with that. I'm sure my boss recognizes this one. This all-time hood classic. Yeah, that's right. It's plant in the flesh. Not plant, yes, plant. Okay, you know what? This place is already feeling a lot more lively. The walls are a bit drab, but what can you do? Actually, I know what I could do. I could replace them. Duh. Oh, that's so tiny. Oh, that's just a really big one now. Let's do 3 like everything else. Yup. Create a window that looks into the abyss. That's the plan. That's the plan. I'm gonna add a child CSG box. It's going to be roughly the size of the window. Ta-da. Oh, and I need to set it to be subtraction. Oh, it needs to go back all the way. Do you guys like my implementation of a window? Oh god, that is a thick window. Who's blowing up my phone? Oh. Thick window. I love it. It's peak. Doesn't get better than this, chat. Okay. Would okay, wait. Idea? Oh. How do I ban someone again? Ugh. This is why you can't have nice things, chat. This is why you can't have nice things. Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you, Studio Pulsar. Thank you, boss. He broke their kneecaps, chat. Oh, my game's technically running. Oops. Okay, so what I'm thinking is I can add something. Actually, low-key. Let me just play and show you. I can add something to this shelf. Oh, what happened? Oh, it was just a spam message. So if I add something to this shelf, right, like an object, and then I have the player interact with it, it would set a variable for what material they're using. Does that make sense, boss? Is that a smart way of doing it? Praise me, please. I beg of you. Please. Please. Chat, I wasn't listening. I'm gonna kill you. Okay, so basically, the gist of it is, what if I put in an object that was like a thing of resin, right, and was right here? And you know how, on the mill and
Chat.
Hi.
Do you want to screen share?
So you don't have to deal with delay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what were you asking on stream?
Oh yeah, chat, this is my boss. Anyhow, I
Get
can
to the
add-
fucking game development, Brian.
Yeah, I know. Hey, that's not my name.
Get to the fucking game development, Estello Netshack.
Yeah, there you go. So I was thinking, what if I added an object that was just like near the resin? It would be right here on the shelf, and I set it such that I can make a script so that when a player interacts with it, it would set a variable for the material they're using for this part. In other words, start working on the flowchart is what I'm getting at.
Yes.
That
You
would be
can do
smart.
that.
Okay. So, does Kenny have a bottle?
Probably.
He has a bathroom, so.
You can also look in like other packs, probably.
That's true. It is Kenny, so all the stuff kind of just works with itself. In each other. Food kit. It's definitely not food, but it's got bottles, and that's close enough.
Has a pressure pot, which is a stock pot.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep it $1.50 with you. I'm making a lot better progress than I had hoped. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is because I spruced it up a bit with plant and rug.
Yeah.
And
It
window.
seems like more of an actual thing that you're making.
It's true, as opposed to just gray blocks that make
Blocks.
me sad and depressed. Oh.
You can jump out a window if you want.
The best feature of Dice Making Simulator.
The hidden
can-
feature.
You can unalive yourself. Do I have to say unalive? I'm on Twitch, so.
I forgot that Kenny's actually releasing a game.
That's crazy. It's weird to think about. His stuff is going to look so generic because it's used for everyone. Or by everyone.
Yeah. Well, you shouldn't use it for production games, but it's going to look like a
Right.
game jam game. For sure.
Yeah. What's crazy is the art style I'm envisioning isn't better. It's just source engine Unity asset flip. Wait, that's an oxymoron. You know how PC Building Simulator is vaguely realistic? Yeah. In a classic Unity
I
asset
think you
flip
could
fashion.
I think you could get a little more creative.
Yeah,
But
I
at the
could.
same time I could do that.
That's true.
It's my expertise.
That is quite literally your expertise. So I'm going to take all these and put them into a folder called furniture. 'Cause this is kind of a lot.
I don't think that folder actually went on top of it.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Of course.
Just has to re-import them all slowly. And I should probably add a folder here.
Yeah.
In the name of organization. Because looking at this as is overwhelming.
Yep.
Food.
Flood. Or I thought that said flood.
Yeah. Kenny food kit. Give me your food. It's got a textures folder, so I want to import that as well, right? Yeah, where do I import the texture folder? Select colors, choose select textures, and on import tab, activate high quality. Oh, okay. So that's, I literally will also just drag textures into that as well. Cool. Should I maybe should put in textures first?
It'll be fine.
Yeah. I don't like this console chat.
You know that paintbrush icon on the console? Like above all the errors?
Yeah. Oh, so much better. Oh. Anxiety went from 100 to 0. Have an avocado.
The tiny avocado.
Because the character controller imported large and everything else imported small, so we're at this weird middle size. It's fine, though.
I don't know if the character controller actually imported that big, because it's about as tall as the shelf.
I made the shelf scale up 3x.
Oh.
Everything except the floor is scaled up 3x.
I
The
see.
floor is scaled up like 15.
I see.
It's probably meant to be tiled, but fuck that.
Well, what you could do in that case is just parent everything to an empty node 3D and then scale that up 3x.
What a genius. I already re-imported
But I
these
guess
all
that
at 3x.
wouldn't work for, yeah, that's probably a more solid solution. Convenience store.
Trying to think what would be the best for resin. I'm low-key
wine
leaning towards
glass.
milk jug.
You know what? Yeah. Not the cups, the milk jug.
Well, yeah. Oh.
Oh,
Oh. Chat, maybe these go in at 1x. Yeah, that's actually perfect. Is it? Wait. Yeah, it's perfect.
yeah.
Cool. So I need to go ahead, go to the scene. Actually, first, let me organize this a little bit more. Pot of plant goes under furniture. Gonna close that. Okay, there. And then can I close some of these? So it's just less clutter. Right.
I love clutter.
No. No.
No.
actually need to rename that. Okay, there. Carton. And then I should probably make a folder for, or a node rather. No, it's not a child of the carton, it's the other way around.
Well, what do you want to do with it?
I want this node to basically be for things on shelf or like interactables. Or maybe that's too vague.
I would probably parent it to a node 3D instead of just an empty node. Because it needs to still operate in 3D space.
Well, it's still under this node 3D.
Yeah, but it can't, I don't know. It doesn't rub me the right way that the parent of the carton has no 3D data.
I see.
I'm surprised you were even able to do that.
It's what I learned to do for 2D.
Empty, like, the node without 3D or 2D, I usually just use it for attaching, like, scene scripts. Like a game manager node.
Yeah.
I'll make that just a node with a script on it.
Oh. Wide milk. Oh, I'm not trying to scale, I just want to move it. There. No, I don't want to rotate. I want free move. Free move. No.
You gotta use the gizmos.
Why was it playing nice just a second ago? It was like snapping to the floor. Does it need a raycast? Is that it?
No.
Am I just like in the wrong mode?
No, it's just that it'll do that anytime after the first time you place it in this.
Oh, so in other words, if I delete it and re-add it. I see. There we go.
I can check. I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and add an interact key. It's going to be E by default. Because I feel like it's always either E or F, or if you're weird, X. Like an EU Warframe, right where your soul should be.
I'm back.
Hello. What to you is the default interact key?
F.
Okay, well, fuck me, I guess.
What were you saying?
E.
Well, E, I feel like E is the default for a lot of people.
It's both, so I'll just say both are interact.
You can do that.
This isn't exactly a game where I'm gonna need a lot of key binds.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have my resin. Amazing, beautiful. Oh, it's backwards. You know what? That's fine. It's fine. That's backwards. It hides the fact that it's not resin. It's milk. How would I make it so that the player can interact with it? is that like a really loaded question?
What?
How do I make it so the player can interact with this object?
Yeah, it's one of those where it like depends what you mean by interact.
They press a button while looking at it within a certain distance, and it sets a variable. Or picks it up. We could be insane and pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What was
it's
the
picking it
original
up.
question?
Oh. I want the player to be able to interact with the resin, so that if I go up here and I press F while looking at this, it'll set a variable to the material I'm using to resin.
Okay. Well, you gotta think about a few things. How you're gonna do the actual, like, knowing what the player is looking at.
True. A raycast. That's the term, right?
Raycast from the screen, probably, yeah. I actually haven't used raycasts a lot in Godot, so it'll be interesting.
Well, it's because we haven't done you haven't done a single first-person thing in Godot, huh?
You're right.
It's all been isometric.
Yeah. Also, you need to think about where you want to store that variable, because you need to think about what's going to want to access that variable and how it's going to want to access that variable.
Would the easy way be the player? Or would it be, a master node? A control thing.
You could just store it on the player, I feel like. But a like manager node is the solution I usually go for, just because you can just easily access anything pretty much from that.
And that's where I would define all these global variables.
Not global, but scene-wide, yeah. I guess global, because you only have one playable scene.
Yeah. And I realistically only really need one. Any more would just be like UI.
Yeah.
Or camera angle changes, which aren't new scenes. So make a master node. Is
Yeah,
that
you
a
can
node?
just call it game manager or something. Yeah,
Is
just
that
an empty
okay?
node.
Call it GM, yeah. Game master. I'll put it at the tippity top.
That's cool.
Okay. So then in the master node, if we go to script,
I'm checking on some stuff right now that might help you.
okay.
I'm seeing what other people are doing for similar.
When you squeeze a bug bite so hard it draws blood. Oops.
Oh, that's gross.
Sorry, chat. I have to go commit seppuku. My bad. I have to commit senku. I guess in the meantime I could add more things to the shelf, like mica powder.
That's true.
Must be salt and pepper shakers. It's like close enough, yeah. Food.
I think I found something that would help you.
Oh, that's not the pepper I meant. What is it?
This video. I'll put it in no mic.
Okay.
Perfect.
Sorry, give me
That's
a
mica
sec.
powder.
Pretty close, yeah. It really is just a bottle. There was something that was like, oh, import textures or some shit.
You don't need to worry about that.
It doesn't matter. Who am I kidding? Pick up objects. Okay. I'll get to that in a moment after I create these scenes.
Yeah.
Then I go ahead and do that. Cool. Nice. Mostly. Okay. Tutorial time.
Don't know if it's the best tutorial because they don't really explain anything, but
Cool flex, bro. Just picking up their shit. Yeah, they don't. It's no talking, but I kind of want talking, low-key. Being able to understand what's going on is convenient, to say the least. So, okay. In the character body, I'm just gonna, like, go through it as they're doing it for my own sake.
hold on, hold on. I
Okay.
might find a better tutorial for you.
Under Camera 3D, they have a raycast. 3D. Uh-huh. Add test object. Girl, I have test object.
They lost me at adding the object to the scene, like with the player.
Yeah, that I'm not quite getting. Wait. Why?
I'm watching a different one, and it might be better. We'll see.
Oh. Are they doing it such that when you pick it up, it, like... Wait, no. I see. It was just as an example of, like, where the object should be held in a first-person view. And then they put the marker object in the same spot.
What is a marker? I haven't used that object before.
Are you familiar with the pin? It's like that, but for whiteboards.
No, I mean the marker 3D object in general.
Ah, yeah, I got no fucking clue. I wish I could zoom in more without it throttling me. Wait, I can. Change the camera's clipping plane.
Oh, it's just a reskinned Node 3D.
That's kind of funny, actually.
That's kind of weird.
So, if I add the object here, we'll do carton.
Hold on. We are checking. We are checking.
It's a little insensitive, man.
What?
The carton's on his head. I'm just joshing. Oh. Now to look.
Yeah, this seems a lot more straightforward than the other video.
I have carton.
Really? Oh, it's attached to your player, huh?
Yeah, because again, this is the in-between step where I'm determining where it should be relative to the player.
You should... Do you want to attach it to the player or to the camera?
No, it's the camera. It would be attached to the camera, but the camera's attached to the player, so you know how it is.
Yeah, it's just a matter if you want it to, like, raise and lower with the camera or not, because right now it's not doing that.
Yeah. No, it is. Look. Well, kind of.
Well, it's not. It's staying level with the player, but it's not rotating up and down with the camera, if that makes sense.
It does. At the same time...
It actually doesn't. It's static compared to the rotation of the camera. Because it can go off screen.
Right.
Is that what you want, or do you want it to stay on screen?
I don't know. I think it's honestly fine like this.
Okay, in that case...
Like, the
what
way you're
you're
talking about
probably
makes it
gonna
seem
wanna
like it's low polish, but... I don't know, it works for me.
Not you leaking DMs on stream.
No.
I would probably just take where the carton is right now and put a node 3D there and call it hand.
I could do the marker, which is the same thing but more dedicated.
Sure.
Wait. He put the carrot there, but then he deletes it, but holds the position? Or is that just middle of his screen? Is it not the same? No, it is. The hell? Wait. Aha. I've got you now. Nope. Hates me. Although... the carton's lower, I see. I see. There, boom. fragmentary object marker. That's what he calls it.
I'll be right back, but until then, I would hold off on following the other tutorial. It's just I found a better one, but I have to go do stuff real quick.
Okay. Found a better one, doesn't send it, leaves. Oh, it reparents the object. Oh, you just have to change it to a character body instead. Interesting. Maybe I will wait for Naruto to come back. I'm eating fries. I'm waiting for Naruto to come back. Is there a lamp? Let me consult the flowchart again. Okay. So select material. You'll probably initialize a variable. No, I got it. It'll initialize the variable once you set it down. So once you set the object down at the table from the shelf, it'll set the material variable to resin. Don't forget, guys, or don't worry, I haven't forgotten what the game actually is. In case you don't know, though, it's Dice Making Simulator. It's, you make dice. That's it. It's pretty chill, you know? Sorry, I realized I was shocked that whole time. The joys of foot pedals. Okay.
back, chat.
Yay. Okay, so can you send the tutorial, or are you gonna walk me through it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you. It's one that actually like has voiceover and it explains what they're doing.
Handy.
Hi, welcome to this tutorial on how to create a pickup object interaction in Godot under 10 lines of code. First, I will create a simple scene on which I will put a mesh and lighting. Now I will create a character body 3D, which I will name player, and add a collision shape, mesh, in node 3D, which I will name head. Under the head, I will place a camera and a node 3D, which I will name hand. Here I just found...
Aha. So under head, yeah, screw you marker. I make a node, I'm gonna call it hand.
It's basically gonna serve the same purpose as what the marker was doing.
Found out that it is necessary to place the hand more in front of the raycast like here in the video. Now I will place a raycast under the camera and set its value to 0.
A raycast has a value? Oops.
That it is necessary to place
Okay, I was speeding up the other videos, this one I'm gonna slow down.
the hand more in front of the raycast like here in the video. Under the head, I will place a camera and a node 3D, which I will name hand. Here I just found out that it is necessary to place the hand.
Bro jumped ahead. Can we talk about that? Real talk?
He didn't really.
I hate you.
He was just saying like, oh, put the hand maybe more in front of the thing. Or like bring it forward a little. So you can actually like see your hand in the camera view. Why are you doing a mesh on the hand?
That's what he did.
More in front of the
That's weird.
raycast like here in the video. Now I will place a raycast under the
Yeah, he made the hand a mesh. He's skipping steps, thinking I just know things, but at the same time, he made an empty.
Just leave it. Just leave it on there. I don't know why he put a sphere on the hand, but
I think to show it's a hand.
yeah, I guess. I would move the entire hand object.
Oh, that's still squished a little. Wait, I can just transform this all to 0.4 or 0.3 even. No, 0.3, 0.3. There.
Now, you're not actually moving the hand with that, by the way. You're moving the mesh.
Ah.
The hand is still at the top of his head.
No, it's not. You're wrong.
the camera and set its value to 0 and -4.
0 and -4. Pinocchio, is that you?
No,
Now
it grows longer.
I was gonna say, if I could figure out how to do that, I would.
I will create a script for the play.
I think that was fine.
Yeah, because it should be
It
where
should
the
be
camera
directly
is.
in the center of your...
Just happens to be the
Yeah,
cute
that's-
boy is tall.
That's good.
player node, which I will leave as it is automatically created. I will only change the movement to WSA and D. Now when I start the scene, I can move around it. Next, I will place
Try
a
to
script
play
under the
this.
head.
It's your hand.
Chat, I have a hand. I just realized I made a left hand.
Yeah, you did.
Dude, watch this sick parkour jump.
Sick parkour jump straight out the window into the void.
Hey!
Node, and here I will just paste a pre-created code for rotating the camera.
Do I need to worry about that? This has already been done, right? In
Yeah,
theory?
this is your player controller stuff.
Which I will put in the comments under this video. Now I can also move the camera when I start the scene. Now I will put a rigid body 3D in the scene, give it a collision shape, and
So that would be like the resin.
Mm-hmm.
Although right now it's just a no 3D. Should I change the type?
You don't need to.
Oh, because it's a
Or-
scene.
Yeah.
For, no 3D.
Yeah, you can change it to a
And
rigid
Matt-
body.
Do I change it in here?
Yeah, you can. Change type.
and create a group for it.
Then you gotta get rid of the errors and stuff.
Oh, it has no shape. Should probably add shape to it.
Yeah, you can give it a... If you click on the mesh, then go to mesh.
Was that it? No.
Yeah, now you just need to...
Or wait.
Read what it says. Perhaps.
Only provides to a collision 3D. Wait. Collision shape.
Open that again.
To a collision object 3D derived node. Rigid body.
Yeah, it needs to be the child of the rigid body.
Intend to work with static collision nodes like static body. Not work well for rigid body 3Ds. Concave
I
polygon
think you
shape
can
3D.
ignore that.
Okay.
That's
I
the shape of the carton that it automatically generated.
Oh, who cares?
call pickable. I can do the same with another rigid body. Now I will add a variable to the head script.
I think you missed a step.
No.
Did you mark it as pickable?
I don't know what he marked as pickable.
I will
So you missed a
call
step.
pickable.
Oh, he made a group. I think.
Oh,
What?
you made the shelf objects the root.
And then I control Z'd it because I realized that.
Mesh.
Okay, I'm.
Save the scene. Save the carton scene.
3D.
Now, don't go back to the video. Why do you keep going back to the video when you're not done in Godot?
Because I'm
Go
trying
back to
to.
your main scene.
Oh.
Okay, it updated. Because last time it didn't update.
In the scene. Give it a collision shape and mesh. And create a group for it that I shape and mesh and create a group for it that I will call pickable. I can do the same with an
those also have to be rigid body.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fine. It's
Okay.
fine.
Yes, sir. Do you still have the stream open?
Yeah.
Okay.
Another rigid body. Now I will add a variable to the head script.
Okay, well, in this, it's all just sort of one giant script for the controller, so...
Yeah. Yeah, that's a kind of goofy to make a separate script.
So just slap it in here.
I would choose where you put it, where it makes sense.
Right.
Script and call it raycast.
Input actions make sense, right?
Adding it to that export group, probably a bad idea.
They're all export.
Yeah, but they're like specific groups for specific things. I would put it on its own.
Its own special thing. Should I just put it at the top?
Sure.
Under
I'll comment what it does in a sec.
which I will drag and drop the raycast from our
It's so slow, but at the same time, it
Slowed
kind of
down
has to
like
be.
AI voice.
It's not even
Beam.
AI.
the same
think it
with
is.
another variable that
Oh, I hope it isn't. I
that
thought
I
it was just a
will
programmer that just sounded like that.
It's Betatron.
Yeah.
call hand.
Why is it? Sure, whatever.
Now under the process delta function, I will define
Look at there in a sec.
It appears differently to him because the script is attached to the head for him.
Ah, I see. Whereas for me, it's connected to the Pro controller.
Yeah.
Sets up things for picking up objects. So now I get to go all, let me save all the way down to process delta.
Or physics process.
Would that make more sense here?
Yes. I always use physics process. I never use process.
Right, because we're not Bethesda. Should probably put it at the bottom.
Probably. You can put it at the bottom. Like separate it from everything that's going on here.
Yeah.
Like just one indent deep.
the variable which I will call object and add 3 conditions.
I feel like object is a bit vague, but go off. This is a general tutorial.
Yeah, I would probably name it like picked object or something. Because that's how I name my variable. Clearer. I also capitalize the first letters
That's fair, I can do
just
that.
to make it more readable. It's not technically correct, like in programmer.
Right,
like,
'cause you capitalize the
circles
first
to-
letter for constants, right?
Oh, I don't know. It's not capitalizing the first letter. It's just called camel case, and I don't use that. because I capitalized first letter of every word.
I do
But
too
leaving the
because I'm an
entire
English
first
student.
word lowercase is what people usually do, and
If
I
the
don't.
Studio Pulsar breaks the rules. I'm sorry.
raycast is
No camel case for us.
colliding, if the object is in the
Not the nested if statement.
It makes sense here.
group,
Yeah.
pickable,
You could use the AND operator, but honestly, it makes it less real.
and if
Why is it bitching and whining? Oh.
Because the if statement doesn't have anything in it.
I see.
if the interaction button is pressed,
When you try to go ahead of the teacher.
Yeah, literally.
which I set to the left mouse button. Under the last condition, I will write
God, he does sound like a really, really tired teacher now.
Under the last condition, I
object
write.
global
Ah!
Look.
position equals
Under the last
hand
condition, I write.
Yeah.
global position, and the same with rotation. Now, when I start the scene and click
Oh. My bad. What? Picked. Excuse me. Okay. Is colliding. Yep. Is in group. Yep. Yep.
Oh,
Hmm.
your object variable is not called object.
That's right. It's picked object.
rotation. Now, when I start the scene and click on the object, our player will start moving.
Wait, what the fuck?
Where did they go?
Chat. Are they falling? Is that what's going on? Wait.
Oh. I think maintenance is here to fix our AC, so I think I have to go.
Ah, yeah, they're falling. Wait. How do I fix that? Oh. Concave polygon shape 3D. It's intended to work with. Not work well. Oh, it's like static body 3D. Right. Okay. So it's a collision shape. What does this have? Has a collision shape, yeah. Nope, okay. They're falling through the map. Okay, that did work. Oh. It immediately lets go, chat. Uh-oh. Why does it do that? Is the tutorial over?
Moving because the object is clipping in to the player's collision shape. So I'll add object.collision layer equals 2 to the script and add raycast to layer 2. Now when I start the scene and click on the object is at the
Hello?
position of.
He's back.
Are you having an issue where it won't stay in your hand?
How did you know?
Try holding it down.
That just picks it up repeatedly.
Mm.
Oh.
That's funny.
Also, you know the warning you said just ignore it? It was causing the thing where they were just falling through the world.
Oh, okay. So basically, I would just put like a basic box collider on them.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, surely it's in the script. The problem is action pressed, right? Well, maybe it needs to be, is action held or something?
No. So the reason it's doing that is because it's checking that every frame.
Well, it's because it's in physics delta instead of just delta.
You could try putting it in process and see what happens, actually. You're going to have to make your own process function.
How do I... Is it insert? Yeah, it's insert. Okay.
Just...
How do I
Yeah, you
multi-line
see the
comment?
formatting for...
I
You
hate
don't have to
commenting like
comment it
that.
out. You can actually just put the physics process, or the process function, right between those blocks of...
I see. Just be like... What is it again?
func underscore process parenthesis delta colon.
Yeah, that wasn't it.
Yeah, so what's happening is it's checking the frame that you interact with it, but once you interact with it, it's not in the raycast anymore. So it's not interacting with it anymore.
Oh. Do I need to, like, make the raycast bigger or something? Or would that be a band-aid
You could
fix?
see, well, the ultimate band-aid fix would just be putting the hand in the path of the raycast.
Oh, yeah. Duh. Silly me. Yeah, okay, that would do it.
There you go.
Let's try that. Chat. Chat. Chat.
What is happening?
Wait.
I don't know.
Wait. I was moving not the actual hand. Let's try that again. Okay, so it holds it, but only if I hold the button down and if I don't move too fast. I can kick it though. What if I gave the player insane gravity?
Script and add raycast to layer 2. Now when I start the scene and click on the object is at the position of our hand. But when I release the left mouse button,
If I can move it too fast and drop it, that could be a game mechanic. It could be a case of it's a feature, not a bug, but that would be lazy.
the object immediately falls.
All right,
so
I'm back,
now
but
I
I'm
can add
unfortunately
object.
gonna have to go in a couple minutes.
Forever and ever?
No, actually, we can come back to this later tonight if you want to. I'll
Okay.
probably be working on Typefighter as well, so
Okay. Are you proud of
we
me?
just have to. Yeah, it's going really well, honestly, right now. I
This
think this is
is-
a nice little project to.
This is stream 1 of 5 million.
Dot
I'm gonna pull pirate software and never release
Infinite
the game.
content.
Exactly.
linear velocity
We're fixing the thing in the code right now that does the or it's causing the
The-
problem.
Goofy thing.
equals
Yeah. Turns out finishing the tutorial does in fact solve this.
vector
Linear.
3 0.1 comma 3 comma 0.1 to the script.
The fuck?
And when I start the scene and pick up and drop the object, it is thrown up and does not fall instantly. And this was the whole tutorial on how.
Okay, that was the whole tutorial. Oh, 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 oh. Now I'm just juggling it. Unless it's...
I have an idea for how to how to fix this that I'll probably like go through with you when I get back tonight.
Okay, how long will that be?
You can kick it around at least.
Yeah, play soccer with it. That's how you get it onto the desk.
Yeah. I think updating the global position of it every frame is kind of
Yeah. I
Like, why
low-key
did
like
we
the other one
even-
that parented it to the player.
yeah, we'll just do that. You can just parent it to the hand. You did the hard part of like getting the actual object, and now all you have to do is like picked object dot reparent or something.
Yeah.
And then in the parentheses for the reparent method, you put the hand object or the hand variable.
We'll do that later.
You could probably do it right now. See what
Okay,
happens.
fine. How would I do that?
Instead of, you can delete all of that picked object dot like bullshit there.
True.
Just do picked object dot reparent parentheses hand. No, you don't have to do that. You have a variable set for it, right? Yeah,
I suppose
just
I
type
do.
in hand.
I hate that it's on
Press insert,
insert.
please.
I hate that. Okay.
Try that, see what happens.
Oh, what?
Ooh, ooh.
Wait.
You might need to set the global position before you reparent.
So I did need some of the other stuff?
Just above that line, do picked object dot global position. Equals. No, not that. Hand dot global position. And do it if input is action just pressed instead of pressed.
Oh, what? Wait. It doesn't like having gravity. Could I disable the gravity while it's in my hand? Whoa.
Maybe. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Bugs, I love them. But
Yeah, we'll figure it
I'm
out.
gonna go for now.
Alright, bye-bye.
Later.
I am going to use that as a good stopping point for the stream. I thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have an excellent rest of your day. I will be doing some more, maybe not tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow, actually. I don't know. All depends. All depends. But yeah, thank you all Goodbye. I'm gonna raid this friendly little person. And go tell him I said hi or something, I don't know. Bye.